Hello and welcome to Kaiserreich, where we basically look at the world where Germany won World War I, which is by far the biggest and most popular HOI4 mod. And I have never made a video on it, which I will correct today. And to make it really interesting, as the first video, we are going to play Russia, which has quite the complicated focus tree and event chains. But if you know how to steer this nation right, you can make it super strong. So without further ado, sadly not Araman and historical, because I'm actually scared this will break the mod. And yeah, let's start. What I appreciate at first sight is not just a big lore, but also that there are guides to different paths, which this mod, like I played it back in the days, didn't have. And the paths in this mod are super complicated. Are we gonna look at them? No, because I'm built like that. No, jokes aside, I did a few test runs. You can check the streams. I do know what I'm doing this time around. I know, crazy, rare Florius moment. And I will try to go on a path today, which for Russia is gonna be interesting, because you know the normal World War, where you have in the East communism and in the West democracy. I thought for today we have in the West communism, why not have in the East democracy? Which is a challenging path, like turning this falling apart empire slash republic, it is kind of in between right now, into a working democracy is generally hard. It is not easy, but we will do it. And if you achieve it, it's pretty good. Firstly, research. We're gonna be super boring. We're just gonna boost our research, as is, and industry. And because I like to forget it, artillery. It's so obvious, I generally sometimes forget it. It is so stupid. Focus-wise, we can't do anything yet, at least for the first few days. So I'm just gonna do this focus over here, which gives us a decent advisor, but more importantly, stability and an operative slot in general. So basically, we're strengthening our intelligence agencies, which is gonna be quite important. Not yet, but especially later on. I have a feeling there's gonna be a world war. Lore-wise, I hope you can forgive me. The video would be too long. There are tons and tons of lore in Kaiserreich. I will just summarize it super quick. We are a very unstable republic. The military is infighting, the right wing is infighting, the left wing is infighting, and no one is really winning. And because there is no winner, the nation is just falling apart. So it's on us to kind of choose one path and try to not explode the nation. You can do that. Then you have a civil war, but I will try to avoid a civil war because it will cost us way too much so we can come on top of this. Because I want to finish the world war early, for a very specific reason. And for that, we also need friends. Something I love about Kaiserreich, and I say this while I haven't built any factories. Oh my god, I'm in the yapping mode. Yeah, I'm just building a few ships for the beginning, nothing special. Equipment-wise, we will need... I love light tanks. I'm gonna keep BT7. Let's go. But very important, trucks and trains. Ships, I'm just gonna finish what we started, but it's very unrealistic that we're gonna build an actual navy. And airplanes, we have to reform, but we don't have the experience yet. So I'm gonna ignore this for now. Very important though is we need a lot of convoys. And this seems very specific that I go into convoys, trains, and trucks. And yes, there is a reason for that. It's a weird reason, but you will understand later when you see it. So that's industry and production. And what I wanted to say before is that I love about Kaiserreich the early game shaping. So the game is always kind of ahistorical, but with basic rules. Germany and Austria will always be the central powers. Britain and France and Russia will always attack them. And that's like the base rules of this mod. Every state around it can kind of change. So you can have a stronger Bulgaria or a weaker Bulgaria, and that's defined by the beginning of the game and the choices the AI do, or you as a player do. And us as Russia, we are basically one of the great powers. Even though we are super weakened, we still have a decent industry. I mean, Germany is stealing a lot of civs from us, but we are still a good power, okay? And we have an enormous, if I click on this, military. So it's kind of on us to influence the nations that need our help, that would help our cause. That is gonna be the early game. A lot of event chains, a lot of decisions, a lot of focuses, and a lot of civil wars. Most importantly for me, and you might be surprised about that, the American Civil War. Yeah, there's an American Civil War in this mod. Because we want one very specific power to come out on top. But because I don't want to yap too much, which I've already done, let's talk about this later and fix the nation for now. Very important for the early game is dealing with unrest, where we have two different angers, military and popular anger. And what we want right now is either the military anger at 8 or the popular anger at 8 and the military anger around 5. This is important because without the military intervening, the current party will stay in power, and the current party is not very democratic. It's the national populists. Those are, in this mod, basically the fascists. So yeah, not the most democratic republic right now. And without some kind of coup or revolution by the people, this will not change. And as I said before, we have an enormous military. So what the military wants, the military basically gets. And if they don't, civil war. And as I said before, I don't want a civil war. So yeah, we're gonna work on that. We also get a new guy over here. Currently we have this guy, not good. This guy on the other side, pretty decent. Cheaper advisors, more political power, more stability. I like it. What I do find crazy is the amount of lore you get by characters. This is actually crazy. The effect is so much pushed up. So the first focus did finish, and we can now go down, control the Supreme Court, and Third Europe. Over here is basically all the faction stuff and starting the World War. So this is interacting with the nations around us, and this over here, at least for now, are the internal matters. And what we want to do now is take care of our internal matters first, because we need political power. And those two focuses over here, you guessed it, give political power. So I'm gonna do that. This one doesn't say it gives political power, but the event gives you also 100 political power. We need that. They're gonna be political power starved for the longest time. So, oh yeah, by the way, this is also happening. The stock market crashed. Yay! But yeah, we will need a lot of political power. It might be very interesting right now to kind of fix our nation a bit, but we need to get the democracy ball rolling too. Talking about it, over here we get some events where you get anti-democratic choices or pro-democratic choices. And I will go down the path of social democracy anyways, because I've decided for myself, if we go down democratic, I want to go down the most democratic path, which is kind of between the totalitarian over here, which also doesn't seem that good. And I think communism would also not be something that we want to flirt with, for the reason that, yeah. So my goal is to actually build a good democracy and be the good guys. If I'm able to achieve that, we will see. Also, very important to mention is those events, because we will get a lot of events for people doing something and us reacting to that. Like right now, it's about uprisings, and we can choose, hey, do we want to not intervene and make the people angry, or do we intervene and make the military angry? And I think the fastest way to start this revolution is actually to make the military angry. So I'm gonna do that. Another putsch here. Allow my trial and retirement. You know what? We're the good guys. You know, we're not just gonna do that to people. He's under watch now. See, we gain stability. W. This event is super important. Basically, we're replacing now the guy we got rid of. And here you can choose what you want to do if the military takes over, which is in both ways, either popular uprising or the military taking over. It has the same result, kind of. So do we want to become an empire or a democracy? And if you look at the modifiers alone, in the empire you get max planning with the guy. Over here we get breakthrough. We will have a tank army for the sole reason that I love tanks. So not just do we want a republic, no, we want to have a base republic. So we are going to build a scientific advanced republic. Yes, give me this guy. No peasant armies. Unemployment spike. I mean, if you need work in a few years, just saying, there is some open positions in the army. Supreme Court. Yeah, first focus is done. We get 50 political power. I thought it was more. Maybe there's something else changing that and I did something wrong. But I'll take 50 political power. We actually need that. Now we have two choices. Either we go down here for the political power, or we go down here to kind of remove some of the negative modifiers of Black Monday. And we kind of have to do that. Because to make the military angry, you can't really click anything right now. You just have to wait for random events. That takes some time. So what I will do now is I will go down the recovery programs and utilize the army. You see, it's the second decision here. Making the military angry because we're using them for peasants' work. Yes. I will also get none of the advisors right now because it would be useless. We lose most of them and I'm just not gonna risk that. We will also not go off civilian economy anytime soon because Kaiserreich does something really cool. If you are on civilian economy, you get more political power. The moment I go down, I get less. It's not a lot, but trust me, I know my favorite sentence, political power is gonna be a rarity that we can't afford to lose. Let's just say the Russian democracy is gonna be very vulnerable until it isn't. And it's not easy. So wait, did I miss any civil wars yet? There's China, but I don't really care about that. We also get now the land reform. Depending on your choices and events, as the land reform is ongoing, the mission will potentially grant stability, political power, and party popularity. The land reform is super important. You might have guessed it, political power. power. The other two things, stability and party popularity, also. But I'm pretty sure we're not getting that. Over here again, two choices. But I'm gonna piss off the people. We're gonna take the political power. It's not like we have stability anyways. It's at -7. It's not gonna be a thing for a while. The Austrians go down an interesting path because I know their focus tree. They're going socialist. It means they will federate. They're gonna be strong. They're gonna have a strong Austria. Germany, I don't know the new focus tree, so that could be everything. But it seems to be authoritarian democracy. Okay. So we created the VES. We're gonna immediately improve the programs. Military chaos. Our military is worse. You know what? I don't care. That's half a year and we're not doing that much fighting yet. And I want military anger. Give me that. Worst event for the land reforms. Either more party popularity, which we don't want. We want to get rid of that party. Or better results. Yeah, this is an obvious choice. We want better results. Demonstration in Petrograd. We can get popular anger or negative stability and less populism. Yep, we don't have stability anyways. And we will get a lot of stability later on. So I'm just gonna take the L for now. The end. Gotta say, I started with a very interesting nation. And from the beginning to the end, starting the mod to the nation we are playing, you chose that. This was funnily enough all chosen democratically. I didn't plan on this, I just noticed that. Because I asked you what mods you like, I counted all of the likes of these mods. You can check that in the live stream if you don't believe me. Then the first 4 mods, which is the amount of options I'm allowed to put into a YouTube poll, you voted on. Kaiserreich became first. Then live on stream, I let you choose. And we started as Russia. And now we're playing Democratic Russia. You guys were right. This is a very, very good nation to play. It is unironically super interesting. By the way, I need political power, I'm sorry. And yes, there's a reason why I don't really care about popular anger too. More about that later. I also have to correct myself. This is not the programs yet. This is a council of bright minds. And it helps us quite a bit with political power. That is genuinely good. Get about the coup, ignore the fools, military anger. Yes, we are getting it up to 8. Popular anger. You know what? I love political power, but I do want to reduce the party popularity of national populism, so I'm gonna do that. And over here, less popular anger. Nah, give him political power. I like those choices. On paper, it sounds kind of boring that it's just a point-and-click adventure at the beginning, but it is super important for later. And because it's that important, I enjoy it a lot. With this over here done, by the way, we will not start the worker relief program over here. No, we will start on the constitution. Not because we want this constitution. No, we want the political power, which is super important. And it's 35 days, so it's super fast. We get another political power. That is super, super good. And now I'm just gonna spam utilize the army for giving me more points to work with in this recovery system here and angering the military. And obviously, I will also spend these points while we are still waiting for the military to be angry to build up our nation. 2 civs, less worse Black Monday. Sounds very good. You could also sacrifice a little bit of party popularity or generally a good modifier and more popular anger. So, you know what? I'm also gonna do that. Right now, running our nation into the ground doesn't matter. The current government will not stay in power. Important choice over here. We get political power. We lose war support. We lose popular anger. That is good. And we gain military anger. That is beautiful. Military infighting. It begins. Political power, beautiful. Just clicked it away really quick. More military anger. I will try to spend as much of this over here for modifiers before everything falls apart, because this would generally be good. This focus is done. You know what? Then I'm just gonna go down. Still not this over here for better Black Monday. Nope. A third Europe. So we need to do this anyways. It forms our faction and it gives us an extra currency that we can use for very important stuff. Most importantly, interfering in other nations. Also keeping an eye on this conflict over here because we are very interested in that. Okay, I gotta be honest. I would love for this over here to finish, but I think I'm gonna risk it and just utilize the army again and click this now. I would like to get more out of this, but I gotta be honest, it is also super important that we finish this. There's a lot of good things in here, but we don't have the time and we get other things anyways. Third Europe is done. I would say while we have the time, we could click this, but they're not at war yet, so I'm gonna wait with that. You know what? Franco-Russian treaty, modifiers, I take. So the military is super angry now. Good. The putsch is happening. I'm gonna wait a bit longer because this is about to finish and it would be sad to lose that because we will lose all of that. It's done. Perfect. Now, putsch is happening. And yeah, military takes over. It uncompletes the focus, control the Supreme Court. I didn't know that was a thing. We lose more stability because of course we do. And we gain our current head general, this field marshal over here, I don't know why it's a general, as a leader. Welcome. Meaning we have to create a constitution now. We can accept extra generals from Mongolia because they apparently got kicked out. So I take them. And as for the constitution, which seems a bit scary, but if you know what you're doing, it is pretty straightforward. But it is also super important because most of these decisions have quite the impact, especially some on the late game. Because for this to be approved, you need to at least choose 6 articles and the military has to approve it. You can easily do that by doing stuff like enshrine the military's role into your republic, but then you can't never really get rid of the military looking over the government, which long term, not good. So yeah, let's create a base constitution. Firstly, we are a republic, and thankfully the military likes this. Next, I'm gonna increase parliamentarism, which socialists and the right SRs support this. I'll show the factions in a way. The bad news is the military doesn't like that, so we have to balance this out. To talk about the government I want to create here, I want to have the Social Democrats, which are the Radical Democratic Party, absolutely not confusing, and the Social Liberals, which are the Socialist Revolutionaries. The party names are very confusing because they don't have the party ideology in it. But yeah, I don't want to create like a capitalist Russia. I don't want to create a military-leaning Russia. I want to create actual democracy, but also not communist. And it is kinda hard to get if you don't know what you're doing. Funnily enough, in my first test run, I got that by sheer coincidence. So I kind of know how to do this. What we also want is adopt a proportional system, which strengthens basically the 2 parties we want in parliament. We don't want this over here. We do want the defense democracy clause, which the socialists like less, but the military loves this. And best of all, you can do anti-communist and anti-reactionary raids. Those are super useful. So I actually want this. Entrenched federalism, that's just base, okay? You gain extra compliance, but if you don't enforce it and basically betray the values you just said, you get huge debuffs. And I'm actually gonna be very laissez-faire. I will actually not plan on conquering a lot of land. I will just take the land the game basically forces upon me, and the rest I will literally just turn into democracies, partially under supervision. To be super based, let's go into state secularism, and I think that is our constitution. I will not repeal a ban on communist parties, because that actually will strengthen the communists too much, and I will not enshrine the military's role into the government, because the military serves the government, not the other way around. And also I will put no restrictions on nationalization, because if we privatize everything, hello UK, how you holding up? We love you. Good luck. Anyways, let's pass the constitution. Constitution draft is accepted, and that starts the elections. The elections are gonna be super interesting, because once again, they are event-based, and they basically, once again, make you do hard choices, which I love about this focus tree, and it completes the focus. Restoration of democracy. Democracy is restored. Mate is like, this is democracy manifest.
Get your hand off my
Now I'm just gonna wait for this over here to be finished, which is a nice bonus if they say yes. This is not the event I wanted to see. This is just the events ticking in for the election, which is over here now. I will explain this in a second. I just want to see if the French accept. Once again, this has to do with the party because of our choices. And the British accept. Very good. We get power protection, lose a little bit of oil, but gain consumer goods factory factor. That is super nice for our economy. The Radical Democrats do better, but also worse because we have anti-communist laws. I don't care. And the right wing just do worse because we did nothing to really support monarchism. The campaign kicks off. Which party do we want to have? And here, very important, we want to play the Radical Democrats, which seems weird because we want to play a socialist democracy, but the socialist revolutionaries are the social liberals. We want to play the Radical Democracy Party, which is the Social Democrats. Yeah, this is, be careful what you click here. If you don't play my path, still, just be careful. The names can be confusing. We're gonna go down. These focuses over here for reducing authoritarian ideologies, privatize state businesses, which does help us with Black Monday and gives us a lot of political power. So I'm gonna do this ASAP. And then we basically create the separation of powers, which once again, stability, compliance gain, super good, cheaper political advices. Yeah, there's a lot of modifiers in here that long term are gonna be super nice. And it's not like it's gonna be boring. We're still gonna start a Weltkrieg, but it is super hard to get everything under a roof. Also, land divisions. No, this still has super high priority. Do this as soon as possible. We want the land reform. And yeah, something I didn't talk about yet, and I think it's not visible yet. No, it's after the election. We don't have popular anger anymore. We have left-wing anger and right-wing anger. So that pretty much reset too. This is why I didn't really care about it. And my main goal now is going to be to make the left-wing parties a lot better, weaken the market liberals and conservatives, and strengthen the liberal democracy parties enough to be part of my coalition. Because if I don't do this, we will go full communist, and I don't want to go full communist. You never go full communist. Once again, left-wing parties do better. We want that. What I'm basically aiming for is to have the first two the highest, and the first one one or two higher than the other. Left wing to worse? Nope. Let's get military anger. Yippee. Extent of privatization. So we have two proposals here. Basically, the old guard and the businessmen saying, hey, come on, sell everything to ensure that the critical industries are not disturbed, or a reformed approach where we would only sell the non-essential companies in small portions so that capitalists and oligarchs are less likely to happen by not selling like big chunks away so the rich can get richer. You know what? Let's be base today. We're gonna make the fair capitalism. Overall, I will yep less about this now because it is just election campaign stuff. I'll just increase the strength of the parties I mentioned before and not let the others take over too much. And I want to emphasize this. Entire video, not a political essay, okay? I'm just LARPing here. Even though we're pulling a really base rush and you can't stop me. Focus tree-wise, let's remove the crimes of the past and this may improve stability. Let's do that. We lose army experience but we gain stability. Very nice. Sweden joins the Reichspakt. I can't stop that. Also, we finished crimes of the past. Let's do never another Sevenkov. Probably budgeted. Banish Civilwar did start. I gotta be honest, I don't really care too much about that. But we can send volunteers. Sure. So, we won. We get social democracy support. We get a choice now who we want to work with. Oh, that's good. I forgot about that part too. We can actually choose. I would say we work, as I said before, with the social liberals, meaning we lose this advice over here and gain this one over here, which gives stability. That is nice. Let's work with him. I take it back. We keep both. I don't actually mind that. More political power. We also unlocked all of these focuses down here, which are gonna be super important in a second. And we finished that focus before we finished that. Okay, I'll take it. Now we have Richter's demands, where if we don't do that, the coalition will collapse. Surprise, surprise, that's a bad thing, okay? So we need to finish these demands to save our democracy and solidify our party, meaning we have to finish new Russian capitalism and the Sorokin reforms. New Russian capitalism we can basically do immediately, and the Sorokin reforms are down here. Both are actually pretty decent focuses, so I'm gonna do them as soon as possible. But if you think that's the only thing we have to do, you are wrong. You are very wrong, sir. Now the main reason why I did save so much political power, stuff like this. We get decisions to make people less angry, and that's not all. Later on we get decisions over here to buy back our industry from the Germans, because currently, as I said before, they gain a lot of our civilian industry. We don't want that. We also still have to fix the Black Monday, which is also not helping, and the military is also very much in need of reform. If we don't do that, which we can start over here, which will make them angry, we never get rid of the Republic under Watch modifier, which loses us political power and gives us autocratic support. We might have won the elections, but god damn it, we have a lot to do before we can think about war. And if you think, wow, this video is really long, it is 1936. It is about to be 1937. That's how much we did in so little time. This is an full-on fledged out Kaiserreich focus tree. We have some air experience and I will 100% have to build an air force now. I'm gonna shuffle my priorities. For now we only have interwar close air support, which will not suffice. So let's build actual CAS, and our fighter could be a lot better too. Heavy machine guns, auto upgrade, aerial supremacy designer. This seems pretty good for a fighter. Gonna put them all the way up. Gonna give them more factories. Gonna take away from the guns because we do need trucks, we do need trains. And I will actually build a few shipyards over here. Opposition exploit anger, where we have the choice between losing political power and getting a less bad effect, getting popularity for a party we really don't want and lose a bit of political power, or making the military angry. Right now, we can't really improve the military's opinion of us without random events, so I'm not gonna risk that. I'll take the L, and that's the main reason why we saved political power. Also notice that the Ukrainians just flipped color and are actually democratic now. And the problem is, no matter what we do to defeat Germany, we have to go through them, so it's gonna be an absolutely not controversial part of the video, I can tell you that much. I will also do more anti-communist raids, pro-labor legislation, and I'm not gonna do this because this reduces the anger of the right wing but gives them party popularity, so no. I will also chill with my political power now. Social democracy, support of political power. I do actually take the party support. We can deal with right-wing anger, we can't really deal with military anger. The youth guard, that sounds something we don't want. Goodbye. Finished this focus over here, very good. Making our democracy a bit better again. I would say now let's do a lot of the focuses that give us political power. This is a nice modifier. Doesn't give political power though. This gives political power again, which is really good, and support for ideologies. I'm gonna do this first. We need this for the Sorokin reforms anyways. Still need all of the following above, and yeah, I'm gonna do that. So my plan is this, capitalism, this, then we go down here, and along the way the plan will absolutely change, but for now that's my plan. Did I say I did a test run? Yeah. Do you remember every little bit? No. I just have the bullet points of save political power and build certain things. Amazing timing about building certain things. Our leader gets an agenda, and that agenda gives us bonuses or 4 negative modifiers. The first is man of the people, meaning that we're not allowed to go over limited conscription. If we do that, we lose party popularity and war support. Shouldn't be a problem for our nation, especially with a tank build. Secondly, rusher of machines. We need 400 trains, 500 convoys, and 800 trucks. If we have this, we get a pretty decent production modifier. And the last one is to guarantee every neutral nation in Europe and have a non-aggression pact with the International. I have no idea what that does because I was never able to do that. I just never had the political power to guarantee everyone, and the International never really wanted to say yes to a non-aggression pact. So I couldn't tell you what that does. Probably it's really good. So the 4th Balkan War has kicked off. Very important. I'm gonna search out all of my tanks, and I will make 1 army of 2 and 2 armies of 1 to stay super not confusing. Very important. I'm speaking to myself now. Then support to Serbia, not to Bulgaria. In my first test run, I misclicked and I sent volunteers to Bulgaria. I undid that, but I never could send support again because there's like a hidden modifier that remembers that you send support and doesn't allow you to do it again. So yeah, we sent volunteers to Serbia, we sent volunteers to Romania, and over here it's the 2 tanks, and we sent volunteers to Greece. Never forgetting, we are also sending air volunteers. Look, support is out. You see over here, we already sent volunteers forces to the enemy of Bulgaria, so we can't do this. Yeah, not good if you send it to the wrong side. That was super stupid. We gain paternal autocracy, lose political power, or we gain extreme ideology support, left and right, and the military hates us. Yeah, no, we have to. This is why we have political power. There's a lot of these events. A lot. As for the Air Force, 2 fighters in here, 2 fighters in here, 2 fighters in here. CAS, we have around 2, what do you call it? Not battalions, air wings. Yes. Good. Now we have to do some real damage. The good news is Norway joins the International. That's generally good. Saves me this front over here. I love this early figuring things out and sending stuff everywhere. It's super hard, especially in a stream, because I can't just pause, lean back, read everything. But in a video, super chill. So the Bulgarians are really pushing right now. Not good. My tanks have arrived. Very important here. We need good leaders. I'm gonna sort by attack and assign them accordingly. So our own demands have also risen up, which is the left demands, giving syndicalism support. This is bad. For our demands, they are less bad because if we don't finish them, the coalition doesn't fall apart. We just get left-wing anger, and you see the intervals are way shorter. But if we ignore them, the left wing will do an uprising after a while. The good thing is we can promise stuff like minimum wage and do other stuff to make the left wing happy. So it is not the worst. The only thing we need to be careful about, and I didn't notice that the first time I played, is the syndicalism support. We need to have less than 5% syndicalism support, which currently is at 10, and it will increase. There will be events for that. So that's why it's super important to have the anti-communist rates in the constitution with the democracy security clause, which allows you to reduce syndicalism support and reduce right-wing anger. That's just a win-win. Super good. Also with our first encirclement. Well played, Bulgaria. Well played. I did also remember right now, there are very good advisors for political power. We can't hire him. He's super good because we already have him. But I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna get this guy over here for the extra political power, meaning we get over 1 again, which is a lot. And this guy over here, which is a bit dangerous because it does give syndicalism support once. He adds 120 days to the labor union demands, and he reduces the consumer goods factory factor, plus faster civilian factory speed. So yeah, I'm wasting a lot of my political power here, but we have a full-staffed government. We have longer time for the labor union demands, and we have still some political power left, but trust me, not for long. There's even more events coming very soon, and I'm scared of them. Anyways, that finished. Let's do New Russian Capitalism, giving us a very decent modifier, especially for our industry. I know, crazy. And changing some decisions for buying back German influence. We can't do that yet anyways, but later on this is going to be very good. Plus, we gain more days to the Richter demands, remove stuff from Black Monday, and unlock an advisor for, I mean, we don't have space, but maybe later. The Golden Handshake. Right wing or left wing anger? No, I'm gonna do that for the political power. The left wing will become more angry, but to be fair, we can make them calm very fast. First encirclement is also finished, so we have a more coordinated army here. This is actually super nice. I will rush for Sofia now. It's going way too well. That's why I'm like surprised. Once again, anti-communist rates, they're super cheap. For the political power, that's nothing. What I will also do is beat down over here for stability. And we're in Sofia. Yeah, that is most of the industry gone. The Germans and the Austrians are now here. That's kind of bad. Manchurian Curse. This is super important. We can ignore it, or we renovate it, and this will stop a Far Eastern military district in an uprising. This is super important. If you know the Kaiserreich lore, you don't want that. We also just cut the front lines in half. Yeah, I think we're doing good over here. They don't have enough manpower to really help, and I think to kind of support them and get this focus out of the way, I'm going to do sponsor Belgrade for more influence, inviting them them into our faction later if it's possible and giving us army experience. What I completely forgot about is that I don't get any planning right now. If you want to be better at this, I do recommend this multiplayer trick where you just put a garrison order into a nation where you can't go, and then your armies will build up planning without needing any front lines. Because in theory, they have an order, they just can't get there, so they're not automatically moving there. So you can move them really around while getting planning. That's super good. I forget it a lot because I'm not playing a lot of multiplayer, but it is super important. Anyways, new encirclement, and all of this over here is also encircled. You're welcome, Bulgaria, because that was actually me. Oh no, we lost a good modifier. Influx of capitalist gone. Political power is down. We're now sponsoring the Belgrade Pact. That is also nice. So I see with the reforms, we still have a good time. We have a lot of political power. So what I'm going to do now is end the Vilnius Agreement, which allows us, as I said before, to kick out the Germans of our economy, but also do international propaganda, which is a bit of a longer decision, but it allows you to turn your influence over here, which is kind of really important, into political power. And at least once, that is super nice to do. As I said, it takes some time, so I'm going to do it now so we can immediately click it, but it should help to kick the Germans out of our economy and us getting back our civilian factories. American Civilwar is happening. Okay, very important here. We're not going to go down the extreme left or the extreme right. And I do love myself some MacArthur, but we're playing more on this side. I'm going to do a gamble now, okay? I'm going to click this over here for more volunteer cap, and we're going to help the democratic side, even with air volunteers. Very important here, we will need our air force, which is currently over here, but I gotta be honest, we are about to crush them. Most of the German volunteers are encircled, and I feel like if I just send my tanks, stop using them to basically farm experience, and just rush down victory points, this is over. Yeah, like, look at this. They're all encircled over here. My divisions have arrived, so I'm gonna yoink a Republican officer, because I know we will keep him. You're not into tanks, but we can change that. But it's gonna be a lot of micro on a lot of different fronts. But garrison, Mexico, go up here. Yeah, there's a lot to do as a Russia. A lot. Even better, the Austrians are kicked out of Bulgaria because they have their own war, which short-term makes them weaker, long-term makes them a lot stronger. But I think if I send my tanks down here and just rush the victory points, yeah, war is over. Super good news. As for my air force, you can send 5. I would say 3 fighters, 2 CAS. This is becoming a very sweaty run now. And I'm gonna increase the minimum wage for the sole reason that I get more support for my ideology, which is good, and stability. I need stability. Cost me some consumer goods factory factor, but I did get a lot. We free civilians accords, which is also super good. Let's continue to fix the nation. Let's do international propaganda, which does use 20, not 10. It does give more political power, it does give war support. This is super important right now. And I would also say, let's buy our stuff back from the Germans. Mongolia wants better relations, 100%. I say yes to this. I would say we should also send them material support, so I'm gonna send them guns, and bro, I don't have a lot. Guns, artillery. That's not a lot. Oh my god, we have a horrible war economy. I mean, as planned. Oh, and we are so in the negative with tanks. The only scary thing is that we need 8,000 trucks, and we have thousands. I have to reduce the trucks now. There's nothing I can do. We need the tanks. These need to perform better. I gotta say, Russia interfering in the US, that is some real alternative history stuff. Am I right? Crazy. Oh, that's evil. The Germans demand compensation. We do have to. I'm pretty sure if we don't do this, they will cripple me hard, and I can't afford it right now. We kind of have to give in the compensation, which sucks, but we don't really have a choice. Oh, even more military anger. That is not good. What we can do now is finally go down mobile warfare, which should help a lot with tank divisions in the future. And yeah, we get the syndicalist uprising, at least in their policies. Not an actual uprising, but they will support their popularity now, and they give me some negative modifiers. I will sacrifice some political power to calm the effect a bit down, and I want to get rid of it as soon as possible. We get this focus over here, where we can get rid of that modifier via the organized social democratic unions. I'll just finish the reforms first, so that is done, and then we take care of that. In the background, we do be performing quite decently in America. We're actively helping the underdog. This is going well. Yeah, very, very good. The problem is it also strengthened these over here. So not the only faction that has to be defeated here. It is just the first. Are also not small. I mean, how much factories have 2 mills versus 0 mills versus... Yeah, the workers have the most mills, which is super bad news. The Italian war has started. I gotta be honest, I don't want to get into that because I don't really have any side I want to win now. If the socialists win, seems good, but it will call in Austria earlier. If the nationalists win or the Democrat... Are they democratic? No, okay, there's no democratic party left. So if the others win, we will have a new enemy. So yeah, both is not good. Okay, reforms are done. I'm gonna rush down this to not strengthen the syndicalists anymore. I'm gonna do anti-communist rates again. They are very low, but we don't want them to be even stronger. And we can reduce military anger, which seems super important. Okay, we'll be kicked out of the American Civilwar very soon now because this war over here went hard. So I kind of have to prepare that. I'm pretty sure you can get rid of it if you go down that path here and integrate them. But I gotta be honest, I didn't really find the time to do that. So I'm just gonna fight the war real quick. Problem is that the US will be a bit without us, at least the US that I'm supporting, which is scary. So self-defense of democracy, very decent. Let's make the right wing angry again. It is what it is. Complete these demands, giving us political power, stability, and resources to the market. That is good. Let's also organize socialist democratic unions, so the syndicalist support stops. Also very important. Yeah, without the political power, all of this would be a lot harder. In background, all of this is falling apart. Kazakhstan is rising up. It is what it is. We're gonna kick out of this over here in a second, but I want to do as much damage before that as possible. Buy them some time. Belgrade Pact victory, that is super good. More influence for me. We're gonna give the American Constitutional Coalition some guns. Should help them a little bit. We're about to declare war in a second. I will try to drag this out a bit longer to get this supply up, but it seems like we're not getting that. And yeah, we've been kicked out of the situation over here for now. We did strengthen them a lot by giving them all of that land, which is a lot of fuel, and cutting the military administration in half, at least nearly. The problem is if we don't help them very soon, the communists will just win. So, we're now in this war. Let's organize our military into something that actually works. So, this should be a fast war as long as our puppet that literally just capitulated doesn't capitulate. Great! Now this is gonna be a bit more annoying because our distraction is gone. But as long as I rush down some of the important victory points, we should have this. Let's do elected officials because of the nice stability modifier, plus it adds 90 days. It's already digit reset, so that should buy us more than enough time. We should also do these reforms in the background, but they cost a lot of political power that we don't have really. The right is also a bit angry, and the communists have quite a bit of influence. So I'm gonna use my political power for that again. What I also didn't mention is the negative modifiers from the factions, where the right give us political power cost, which is quite annoying. The left is less bad, but on low, and the army is annoying, but not the worst. I think we're about to capitulate our first nation down here, because I did rush the railway. Yeah, first nation down here is gone. Rushing them from the other side now should mean the other nation is also very soon gone. Please. Yep, next nation is gone. Last nation to go. We also got elected officials. That's super nice. What are we missing for the demands? Oh yeah, I never went to the military stuff. I'm gonna go down to this, which allows us to reform our military and get political power. I should have done this way earlier. Also, I missed the land reform. That finished at some point, and we got probably political power and stability, because it does look a lot better. We had war now, so stability is worse. And war is done. I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm just gonna take this all for myself. Easier to manage. Isn't that true democracy? Jokes aside, we can just core this, so very nice to have. Most importantly, we can send our tanks back, help in the American Civil War. I will do that. Yeah, I'm just gonna annex them. Goodbye. Our troops have arrived in America. Super good news. Let's win this. We also unlocked extra army funding. This is gonna be super important to keep our military under control. So yeah, I should have done this earlier. I'm just gonna do it now because later on we will need it. Problem being is that we lose consumer goods factory factor, but it is what it is. We can't really afford anything else. I'm also gonna stop building civs now. And even though we're still on civilian economy, I really need mills now. If we don't start building mills now, we are screwed. I'm also gonna start the reforms over here now, because we kind of have to at some point. And yeah, still a lot can go wrong. And with that focus done, and way higher military anger than I will probably like, 6, we can finish the labor demands, giving us political power and a very good industrial modifier. Finally. But yeah, that's just our government secured for now. Nothing else. To really get all the bonuses we want to have and more political power, we need higher stability, which, I mean, doable. I would also say we finally get rid of the Black Monday modifier, which never really crippled us as much as other people, because our industry was never really that great. But I gotta be honest, I did kind of forget about it. I should have clicked that first focus at least way earlier. We'll also finally go to early mobilization, so we can build mills faster and build more mills. So organized work relief, I would say let's get rid of Black Monday over here, because it is not a long focus. We should do it. I also just noticed that the Canadians got involved, which is good news. Mexico getting involved against us is bad news. But helping the communists, that is stupid. We need to get rid of Mexico then. Okay, we got hit with sanctions. What we do need to do now is to beat Mexico, because they are very much endangering my US here, while the Canadians might be a nice ally in this, but they have not enough troops to take care of the communist US, and the other US is also super weak. Bro, it is not looking good. Road to recovery, that is actually nice. I would say let's do that over here for really good amounts of political power and calming down everyone. I think I want to go into this, like the US support. Yeah, let's do US support, then we do the political power, and then yeah, I have a plan, I have a plan. First Mexican units are encircled. I just have to be a bit careful because I don't see all of the troops. Oh, we get an airport over here that is huge. Yeah, good encirclement. We're losing some land again, especially over here, but the current situation is not good. It's far away from it, and I know helping a US might seem very weird, but we have like a bit more than a year to prepare. We just started to build our military industry, so wasting some resources right now doesn't do too much in the long run. We do kind of train our air force, so there's a lot of upsides to this that you might not think about immediately. This over here is cleaned up, beautiful. I would say we do like a big cut in half here, get rid of all of these Mexican Mexican units here. They are losing up here. That is super good news. But yeah, we gotta do some big moves now. Otherwise, this is lost. Very strong communists. And I know we want to have communists, but as I said, I will not end after Second World War. We are democracy and we will not stand by while other ideologies persist in Europe. That is an amazing amount of political power here. I don't think we need this. I do think we need mills. So I'm gonna go down here now. We'll also start to reform my military now and continue these reforms over here. Probably could have gone to partial mobilization, but sacrifices, you know. We also encircled all of the Mexicans up here now. And yeah, our US seems to be winning now. That is good. In the north, they are... Oh, they're saved by Canada. Let's hope with the Mexicans on the run. Not gonna lie, this was super hard to do, but super fun. Yeah, encirclement. The communists supposed arrived. That is bad news. They're really not ready for that, and they allow the Mexicans to get out of this. We need to cut this off, get this encircled before they try anything, and then maybe encircle some here. Basically, we always have to weaken the biggest enemy for the US and let them do the overall fighting on all the front lines. This is why I'm not finishing off this US, because it's also a distraction for the others, like Mexico. I'm just trying to kind of swing it into the favor for the faction I'm supporting. And yeah, that's most of the Mexican army probably gone. Yeah, Mexicans are gone. Good news, this is flat land and I have tanks. We should have fun. Yeah, let's go. Generally seems very doable right now. Ottoman-Iran war, super important for us, especially because Iran is our ideology. 5 volunteers, okay. We also have to do all of this autonomy stuff over here, so I'm just gonna do that. Over here we can... I'm just gonna give them autonomy. We made the promise, I will do it. Mission to Tehran, very well timed. We also core stuff. Oh, this is so good. A lot of good news in very critical times. And yeah, there you see, if we would go against their autonomy, we would go against the federalism thing, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna give them their freedom. This is fine. You get your autonomy. Mission to Tehran is done. Let's maybe influence Finland. Did you join any faction yet? You didn't. They could actually be helpful for our side, so I'm gonna ask them. All of New York. Oh, this is going very well. So, Old Guard, I would say let's retire them. We have to weaken the military, and it will get rid of a lot of people, but those reforms are necessary. And yeah, they're a little bit annoyed at me. We lost some generals. Nothing too bad. Okay, MacArthur is gone, and they have actually some mills now, so they have a chance. You're telling me there is a chance. I think I'm gonna be very bold and do an attack like this, getting rid of them over here. We have more than enough guns now. We'll need a lot of these, but I think to just seal the deal, I'm gonna send like 10,000 of those to the US, and that should be enough for them to just win. Okay, I'm gonna make the military very angry now, because I will abolish the Cossacks. It's not good. I hope I can get that down with an event. Otherwise, I have a problem. But I need to do that. I really do. Otherwise, I can't really reform my army in a way I want to, which is a modern army, a good army. And please don't give me a Civil War military army. So let's say let's finish the reforms now, giving us a genuine democracy and Russian civil society. Very nice. Also, military factories. Seems good. And on top of that, we can go to partial mobilization. Very nice. Finally. This over here reduces military anger, but then we kind of locked in to declare war, which I don't want to do yet. I would say let's get the research slot, which we are a little bit behind on. Finland refuses. Oh, can't do anything. They didn't want to join me. They didn't want to give me land concessions. I swear, we are democratic, okay? The right wing is super angry, so let's calm them down. We are a stable nation, and that was a lot of enemies gone. They're really busting Iran here. I have to send them something. You know what? I'm gonna send them like 20,000 guns, and I hope that's enough, because they're really destroying them right now. The Germans are really helping the Ottomans this time around. Look at that. They're completely screwed. They're overrun everywhere. I've never seen such a weak Iran in this. I gotta say, this is one of the worst air zones I've ever seen in this region. I can't send stuff anywhere. So Mexico is about to be gone. The American Civilwar looks very much in our favor. Thanks to all of the outspiraling against the Ottomans over here. Sorry, my Turkish viewers. We saved Iran, luckily. But yeah, we have to really look into our domestic stuff now, because it's July of 1939. But I'm just waiting for the planes to be done to really upscale that. I will use this opportunity to build an actual medium tank. Not the best, but should be enough. And our nation is about to be free of the German influence. Over here, I will make the military more angry, but I'm gonna give them one more time of extra funding, which does hurt a lot, but I'll have to do it. And then we fix the military for good. We got St. Louis. That is super good. Because there's some German volunteers in here, because yeah, the Germans are also in the US. We just didn't spot them yet, because helping the American people's government, and they have been the least of our problem. Oh, that is so much. Yeah, this is easy winnable for them now. Nice. Also, the army experience I gained down here was super useful. Never really tend to get any airports though. I couldn't really use the Air Force. Over here we are... Oh, this is... I love you, Iran. Okay, they actually used my guns. They used the guns I sent them. They generally just built an enormous army out of that. It doesn't look big, but they doubled their army size right there. That is beautiful. We can cover the front line, which is also crazy. And they recovered this pocket over here. This is so good. This is so good on so many levels. We even get Baghdad back now. Communist America's gone, making the military angry, but gets event Republican Democratic military curriculum. Very nice. can invade Afghanistan. I nearly clicked invade Afghanistan. No, not gonna do that. Out of my own experience, it seems like a bad idea. Afghanistan joins. Beautiful. The more allies, the better. Actually, there is something later on in the focus tree over here where you can actually form your own bloc, and the more members, the better. It generally is true. Business is booming. Oh, that is so good. Russia free of German influence. Remove German influence. Yes. Beautiful. Good news after good news. We have nearly prepared our nation for war. The only thing it really needs preparation is our army. And for that, we just need a bit more equipment. Air Force is looking fine for now. Land trains, that is fine. We need way more trucks. We have this here. Yeah, we just need to build more mills, and I'm gonna do that. Just spamming mills now. Going into New Orleans. Nice. Greece joins. That is... Greece joining sucks a little bit. I'm also reforming my military in the background, and yes, we're going down the motorized / tank route. Capital of the southern states is also in our hands. The American Civilwar is done. I'm just rushing down the last few thresholds. And I found where all the airports are. That is annoying. But anyways, we're about to get them. And yeah, America, donezo. There's Mexico missing, and I gotta be honest for that. We can just do this, and look away. Oh, Iran also did their stuff. Released in Iraq. Interesting. I'm pretty sure we can ask all of those to join our faction after they're done with that. Once again, really good for us. I'm getting all of my troops back. We can actually just take care of our internal matter. The Civil Wars have perfectly ended for us, and we consolidated a friendly America, at least as soon as we're done with Mexico, a friendly Middle East, which we can 100% invite into our faction. And again, good news, Hydropack triumphant. We get power protection, and we can probably invite some of them as soon as they leave their faction. Again, it's good news, because Iran is gonna be amazing for taking care of this here. Talking about our own military now, I think we have no tanks in this. No, we don't. I'm just gonna turn this all into this infantry unit. I will reform this infantry unit to only be 15 with, also used before motorized reconnaissance, so I don't know why I did that. And yeah, I'm gonna use 15 with as my main brute force. Need a few more of those to hold most of the front line. We're gonna use mediumly strong tanks to break through. Already started the production of medium tanks. I think I'm gonna start the production of light tanks, which should make this possible. On the other side, we don't have an industry, and I think we can spend that now, right? Anything to do? This is not that important. Yeah, generally speaking, I think we can spend our stuff now. Yes, I can calm the right wing down. There you go. So, company-wise, cheaper fighters. That seems good. With report, Germans will hate us. Publish it. Who cares? It's the Germans. They hate us anyways. Like, oh no. We no longer have the sanctions. That is also good news. Our industry now is not the best, but what did I get up to? 88 mills and 81 civs. Yeah, with long Black Friday, that kind of sucked, but to be fair, we needed to save a democracy and influence a lot of people around the world while we did that. So, there were sacrifices, and I am very happy we did them, because our international position is super strong. Downside, we just need to win the World War, but yeah, one thing after another. Maybe forgot to research a better gun. Welcome to Russia. Plane-wise, let's add all the CAS bombs on the CAS and make the fighter strong. I just noticed at that moment, I have never researched cannons. That is a mistake. We also have the better tank now, and I think we're starting to be ready for this war. So, emergency meeting. We have to prepare the war now. That is good, because we want to do this very soon, but we have a counter now for around a year. Plus, the American Civil War has finally ended with Mexico gone, and we have a United States of America again, with an actual democracy. Seems good, because I need friends, okay? But we also get more influence again. Super nice. Spanish joins the communists, so that might actually be useful, but we did lose out on Italy. They are super gone. So let's do that focus, prepare the operation. We can also invite Armenia and Iran now. I'm gonna ask Iran, because Armenia is the puppet, I'm pretty sure of that. That's a strong counter-axis there. Iran joins though, that is huge. We can also finally remove Republic under watch, which means our military is not in charge of our Republic anymore, which is kind of interesting if you think about we go to war in a second. But yeah, we lose military anger. I take that. We gain a division attack chief of army. That is actually good. 15%. Okay, the reform was super good. And we can choose a plan now. Do we go through the Baltics, Ruthenia, or Ukraine? I want to hear nothing about anything right now, okay? We're gonna go through Ukraine. And now before you write anything, it's because we have a tank-based build, and the south here is very much plains, okay? I know there's swamps and everything, but there's a lot of plains too. This is amazing for encirclements. This is why. There's no other reason than this. Anyways, on the ruins of the empire, we can invite now all of the Middle Eastern nations after we invited Iran. So I'm gonna do that. They're gonna be super helpful in the south, and especially with a strong Balkan. They even give Poland land in Ukraine. That means they are really gonna be on their side. That sucks. We also get a plan over here. Mobility is the key to victory, or firepower. We're gonna go mobility. Already chose mobility. Even all of our military reforms went into mobility. The United States joins the Entente. That is good news, actually speaking. A strong Entente hand late game is gonna be super good. Plus, I also noticed I apparently clicked invade Armenia, not invite Armenia. I promise you're the good guys, okay? And the war immediately starts. We have been embargoed by Germany. Yeah, I didn't meant to do this. Anyways, this focus is done. I would say let's form our own economic bloc, which actually has quite the nice modifiers. So let's do that. Plus, I will send over my tank divisions to help with this problem over here. And war is finished. I didn't really get any points, so I guess Iran gets that. We also finished the reforms in the Russian army, meaning we get a lot of political power, war support, lose autocratic support, and gain new generals. Very good. I will use this to invite more nations to my alliance, which I didn't want to do while the war was going on, for the sole reason that I was scared they would say no because I'm in a war, so I waited. I also haven't done a focus yet, I just noticed. That is a mistake. I would say let's continue to reform our army. Very nice bonus for a little military exercise. Armor research is actually pretty good. And I would say because it comes really late now, and I think I've reformed my army enough, let's light this candle. The preemptive war, giving us a lot of war goals and starting the war against the Germans, revenging our humiliation. We also got a lot of the modifiers, including Russia of machines for a nice production efficiency cap. So yeah, and I think I should stay alive for quite a time because we have way too much trucks, but they will be needed because I will use them in supply now. Yeah, but we have still more than enough. I also covered most of the front lines we have with enemies, meaning this over here and this here. Thankfully, we don't need to care about Finland.
Are you sure?
Before I started, I'm gonna call in everyone, especially to help me down here. And we basically have to hold out for now until the French join, because they will join after us. Yeah, so we have the full focus of the German Air Force at the moment, meaning we will probably not have a nice early game here. Our tanks are able to do some early pushes, so if we could cut all of this off, this would be amazing. But at the same time, it is super risky because all of Germany is basically against us. Also called in Iran just to take care of this region over here. But now this is gonna be hard to push because the Germans are here, but I'm very sure once the Western Front attacks, this shouldn't be a problem anymore, and I just need to stay defensive here. Yeah, this is going surprisingly well. Only me fighting them for now. This is decent. My air force is quite smaller than theirs, but I gotta say, I think we got this just because the quality is higher. The Italian war is also ended, and it's kinda a good ending for me because the communists didn't win. I mean this for the sole reason that if the communists win, Austria gets immediately called into the war as soon as the communists join the war because they border Austria. I'm pretty sure that's how it works because I had this in one test run, and that wasn't nice. A very strong Austria very early into the war. Doctrine-wise, we're also quite down now, which is pretty good because we're 2 doctrines away from being done, and the World War has just started. So yeah, the early conflicts did maybe help a lot, even though it was a lot of work to manage all of them at once. Maybe it didn't help that I played all of this in speed 4 before, but my ADHD didn't want to play slower. The encirclements over here, amazing. Yes, very good. Goodbye, Polish units. Beautiful. Now looking at 85k losses versus nearly 500,000, where Ukraine has like way more. I feel like I have to play Ukraine next in Kaiserreich. Like any weird feelings out of this. Oh no. Did Finland just declared war on me? Oh my god. Me like, oh yeah, the war is going pretty good. I hope Finland doesn't do anything. Finland also like, yeah, I'm gonna join this war. Why Finland? Why? I'm gonna just drop a few tanks over here so they can't do anything against that. Might actually mean that I have to deploy my tanks here. I mean, I expected them to attack me at some time, but I didn't expect them to be this early, to be fair. But also, to be fair, I did buy myself some time with the successful early attack there. So what I need to do now is probably take one of these armies here, bring them to the other, and deploy them over here now. We don't need a lot of units there, but we need some units. Plus, need to win this theater over here, then Finland should generally be easy. And the French joined. That is actually good. We might lose some land over here, which sucks, but it's not the worst. We are holding Petrograd over here, which is good news. Losing the airport does suck though, because I want that. There we go. And I would say we just bank Finland and then take care of the rest. Even though we made amazing gains over here, I have to kind of drop this. I think there's a mission for going into Kiev quite fast. Yeah, so I might want to try that, but then we go down and beat Finland. Oh, they actually have troops here. That is bad news. Otherwise, this would have been super easy, super quick. And oh my god, that's once again a good amount of units encircled here. Super good news. Just need to keep the momentum into Crimea, otherwise we will never get that peninsula. The nice encirclements down here again, especially the tanks. And yeah, the front lines over here stabilized, even over there. I'm losing this over here, which sucks, but I do counter offensives down here with very limited stuff, so that is good news. Just gotta keep an eye on my equipment. Yeah, infantry equipment is not looking good. I'm gonna scale down my Air Force production a little bit to catch up there. And yeah, I'm not building any infantry, so those are actually battlefield losses. We're not losing that much men, but we are losing equipment. So the US attacks the communists, which kinda is good news for us, but puts more pressure on the German front. We are still holding out for now, but in some front lines they did actually collect some counter-offensives. We are trading so far 2.88k losses versus Germany 2.75 and Ukraine 622. So we're very much in a positive, but it's still scary. And I'm pretty sure we need to get Finland out of that. That front line is just way too big. We'll also finally go to war economy and go to limited conscription just to be safe, plus employ everyone I can military-wise. So our government is ready and perfectly out of political power. That is very good. So down here is also nearly cleaned up. I say nearly because the Germans have so much tanks. It is generally crazy. I see German tanks everywhere. They're actually not weak, but these pockets are slowly being cleaned up. Actually, thanks to Iran, so having them on our side was enormously good. Finland just joins the Reichspakt, which makes this a lot harder, but I think I will beat them very soon. I literally just wanted to clean up this down here before I sent them up, and now I can't capitulate them. That's a problem about being Russia, that you have so much to do at the same time, and you kind of have to choose the path of least resistance, because in the background, the French are already dying on all fronts. So if we don't win this fast, we don't win this. Yay. Wilhelm died, and we got a Wilhelm. Wow. We also have enough troops now to just crush Finland, plus a decent air supremacy to kind of nail it really down. The only thing we kind of missing, funnily enough, is guns, but I guess we're playing Russia. I love that we're not missing tanks really, but guns. That is so stupid. And that's another nice encirclement. And we need stuff like this, because France is really not looking good. We need to weaken this front now. I've actually broken through in the north here. I hope I can do this cleanly now. We are also pushing through Finland, so that front line is also going well. But yeah, generally speaking, those encirclements are enormously important. Austria intervenes. This is gonna be annoying. This is not good. All I can do right now is encircle German tanks and hope that makes a difference. And I called in Serbia. Oh no, you're gonna die now, Serbia. And Romania. I'm so sorry, Romania. Okay, I think the only real chance we have now is to collect what we have in one big offensive and push. And this might sound very stupid, but if we don't do something now, this is over sooner than I like it. And yes, we have momentum right now, but I highly doubt it will stay this way for long if we don't do anything anytime soon. So I'm just gonna do a general push and hope this goes well. There's a lot of red. It doesn't go well, I think, at the moment. But let us capitulate. That is huge. But fighting off Sweden will be horrible. So I think what I need to do now is have like some choke points where I can defend. Fall of Bucharest already. Oh yeah, Bulgaria. Yeah, this is not gonna be a fun war. This is gonna be hard. And I really do some spearheads. The upside of that is that I can just encircle the spearheads and get rid of their tanks this way. But I just put like 6 tanks in one province here. But we're having an effect since we push this hard and make this much pressure. The German offensive in France is kind of halted, at least by a bit. But Austria joining with Italy is horrible. Another nice encirclement. I'm slowly pushing in Ukraine. How's France looking? Okay, let's not look at France anymore. Yeah, Austria joining made this a lot harder. There's so many Austrians now at the border. Paris has fallen. Not good. We did finally get Kiev, which was the hardest point to take here for multiple reasons. One of them being that it's super hard to get here supply-wise. It's quite far away from supply points. Plus a lot of river crossings. It's a fort and the AI really focuses in defending it. You see how many units are still in there, and I've encircled this and they're all starting to fade away now. This was not easy. The Reichspakt is at war with the Entente, which is generally amazing news because that means over here the war will continue. That is actually super good news. Oh, I will have the US on my side. That is actually amazing to know. Kiev is gone. Now let's fight the rest of this entire alliance. And Ukraine is gone. That is actually enormous news because I'm just gonna push now. They have had a lot of units here and even reach Romania because they're occupied by them. Oh, that feels so stupid. Okay, they finally made a mistake and pushed too hard into here while losing manpower. Retreated from Romania. They're still pushing over here. I give them that. But if they lose the units over here, they're kind of done for. That is way too high losses. And I think I will be able to pull this off, but I'm not sure. But it would be a much needed success at the moment. I gotta say that. Yes. Big encirclement. And France capitulate. Okay, once again, another huge W. Russia has capitulated. The Germans gave up the Dutchess Indies to the Japanese. That is crazy. Can I yoink something? Some rubber would generally be very nice. I'm gonna try a little bit. Got myself 2 provinces with rubber though, so that is good. Solved my rubber problem. I can build planes again, because I might have had a small problem with planes. A lot of them got shot down. Had to focus a lot more into planes. I'm doing anti-air now for good reasons. Some encirclements are possible, but I doubt, yeah, we don't get everything. This might be a little bit too greedy. I just noticed that I never added cannons to my fighters, and I know why they perform worse than they should now. Very great. So, that encirclement is cleaned up. Problem being is that the front lines are pretty harsh right now, and end to the war is not in sight. Especially where I currently come out on top, because the Germans now having all of France. They're not releasing a new France, meaning they have new manpower, and the Entente doesn't seem very interested in doing anything. Like, they just fight in Africa, and I doubt that the Germans have a lot of stuff over there. I gotta see the strategy of just digging in, reforming a bit of my army, and giving them stuff like anti-air, which was kind of my stockpile and I never used. Worked wonders. Even my air force has mostly recovered. I just need way more to have a chance, because I have like 112,000 here, and Germany has like not more than double, but together with Austria's, probably. Then you also have other small nations around, so yeah. We have quality fighters, but we need more. And until they are ready, I will just chill. And while I'm chilling, I will just drain them of all of their equipment and manpower, because this doesn't seem good in the long term. The Austrian tanks here are less tanks and more like people that were supposed to be in tanks. Okay, yeah, for no air force, this is going way too well. I mean, they're like pushing 1 province, which of course is scary, but I'm building up an army in the background. I'm building up a giant air force too. I'm building up a lot, and not having any losses anymore means I get to keep most things. I understand why the Russians did that now. Defending for a while works pretty well for an offensive later on. And my generals are becoming super strong. Okay, that is done. But I do need to wait a bit longer for the next one. But yeah, I started researching that. We might need it. Oh, the Germans landed in. That is not good. I know why some of the tanks disappeared. Okay, I have wiped the air force now, and I wanted to delete them for quite a bit longer before I attack, but I might need to change my plan and kind of go into the offensive. Okay, they got kicked out again, but there might be some dangerous battles here. So, more time has passed. The front lines have stabilized a lot. I have completely green air over Ukraine, but it doesn't mean I can really push it, because they're still very much equipped. They're running out of manpower, except Germany because of France, but I started a little thing called Make France Angry. I'm sending spy ops into here to just make France angry. That is the plan. The US so far has not done a lot. I think they're mostly at war with America and Cuba. How fitting. And maybe a bit in Africa, because they pushed a lot down here, but overall have not been a help in this. And Portugal doesn't want to join the war, so there's no front line. Yeah, but I would say the time has come to actually push, because I mean, I get bored. This was very sweating to get through, but I do get bored. Nice encirclement over here. I think we actually have some momentum now, and if I get this deleted, I might actually start a general offensive. That is so much units though. Oh yeah, they're gone. I would show you the losses at this point, but they're so crazy. They wouldn't mean anything anymore. It's 3.6 million versus 21 million, where I made 8 million to Germany alone and 1.6 to Austria-Hungary. Sorry, the Danubian Federation. Yeah, it's a strong central powers, but I just dug it. And to be fair, I pushed quite far ahead for fighting everything alone, with barely any air force to help. So I'm proud, okay. What I haven't talked about was the huge India war over here, but yeah, that's just a mass bullying over there. Anyways, let's push. So far, this is actually working, so nice. The green airfield is also pretty nice, so we might actually have this. We have the same air force as Germany. Austria doesn't have a big air force, and I think the rest neither. Yeah, bits and pieces. Italy has a big one, but I hope we can just decimate them now. We are in Warsaw. Yeah, the middle front line is collapsing. The southern one against the Danubian Federation and the Balkan is a bit weaker, but yeah, this is a whole other look than what we had 2 years ago. Oh, this just feels nice, I gotta say. Egypt ate all of my allies though. That is not nice. And that liberated... Oh no, this is the worst timing for this. They capitulated Iran because of the war in the background, and now a lot of nations popped out again. That is so stupid. I love having a new front line right before the war ends. I will revenge myself against Egypt for that after this is done. No, what happened over here? No, they ate all of my Balkan allies. That is so stupid. Nice encirclement over over here, though. Yeah, those are really nice blitz pushes. Fall of Berlin. Germany begs for peace. Good. I might have been alone, but that doesn't change that I was willing to sacrifice everything. Okay, not the democracy. We're still a democracy, okay? And the good guys. We are the good guys. Don't think about it. I declared this war in self-defense. Fall of Vienna. Okay, this is going pretty well now. I'm just microing Denmark in the background when we defeated Vienna. Oh, that is so stupid. Yeah, why capitulated Denmark and everyone is moving away? Why is everyone moving away? Stay there. What are you doing? Germany basically disappeared. That is nice. The Ottoman states joined the Entente. At that moment, Germany capitulates. Coincidence? Probably. The Danubian Federation is soon gone. I mean, really soon. I just looked at the capitulation. They are at 98%. They're literally about to disappear. The Netherlands is gone. And Belgium is gone. I feel like that's most of Northern Europe cleaned up, if you don't think about Sweden right now. But we are not done yet, sadly. This is still an ongoing cleaning up operation. The Nubian Federation is gone, though. That is super good news. The amount of pockets I have now is crazy, though. I just need to be kind of careful to get them all. There's so many people in this encirclement, though. It is crazy. And that's Bulgaria. Beautiful. Only Italy missing. And I'm pretty sure my war participation is, yeah, 97%. 97%. But it's without the Entente, to be fair, so still 97%. That it feels like 97%. And to everyone's surprise, Italy is super easy. Yeah, I know. Who would have seen that coming? And then we're done. Oh my god. I mean, at least for this war. I still plan to do stuff after if everything goes wrong. Wall of Rome. Beautiful. And a separate treaty without Italy. Interesting. I have nearly 11,000 points and the Union of Britain has not even 1,000. It should be quite a peace treaty. Anyways, let's get gobbling. I have very reasonable demands. Everything. Britain, you get a participation trophy. And yes, that is my plan to get a navy. Good. Triumphant Russian democracy. But it should allow us to go down this focus over here. We remove all the anger of the different parties and can go down a very interesting path down here. So let's do that. And Ukraine in flames. Yeah, that is not good. How bad is it in Ukraine? Oh yeah, 100%. I forgot about that. I have to do the peace conference while I also have to fix the after-war stuff, which is not good. I need to defeat Italy fast, otherwise I have a problem. And yeah, that's that war done. Problem is there's another war, and I know that. Oh my god, they've turned into separate wars. Okay, while my army cleans up that, there you go. Let's build a new Europe from the ashes. I did promise to restore democracies where I can, so I will do that. Georgian Republic, yes. Afghanistan, Republic. Arabia, granted to the allies. There you go. You can subjugate Albania, who as a democracy, of course. Are they in an alliance? No. Okay. They just at war with Mongolia. Okay, interesting. Albania agrees. Oh, we turned Albania into our puppet. Okay, they just said yes. Great. Going to our Georgian allies. Yes, we restore democracies, I promise. So that is this region done. All democracies, except the one I don't own. Actually, also democracy. I gotta give it to Egypt. They actually created democracies. You know what? I'm fine with that. I forgive you, Egypt. Even though I own this. Didn't meant to. Greece is gone. And the next uprising, just so you get a feel how bad this is. It is absolutely not a problem right now. I click this button. It is a problem. And Ukraine was completely fine. 35%. I click this button. It's completely red. I didn't do this, okay? I know I'm on a calm occupation law, but I promise I didn't handle it this badly. You just get a post-war event chain, and it's very, very punishing. But anyway, we finished Triumphant Russian Republic. Let's just immediately go down Rebirth of Russia, so we can take care of all of these events here. We kind of saved Switzerland's ass over here. Gotta say that. They were attacked from all sides. So the Sweden war should end any second now. Yeah, thank you very much. Once again, just gonna try to eat it all and get the navy. Beautiful. Since when I'm at war with Mongolia, I was about to say, oh, all wars are over. Mongolia will be like, I'm gonna take care of them now, and then this war is over. Oh, we can do all events now. That is actually good. So, Bulgaria, Republic. Okay, before I name everything now, I'm just gonna release everything as a Republic and show you the world then. New election while this is going on, and you know what? He did such a good job. He can stay. I want to say this takes forever. Clicking all of this does take forever. And with this focus done, let's do union with Ukraine, so we can calm them down a little bit, and it should allow us to integrate the land. And I did just also finish the entire new shaping of Europe, which is a lot of event chains, but very cool. And I'm happy with this. I started that democratic experiment with the Danubian Federation. Let's see how that will explode. I gave all of my old Balkan friends over here more land than I started with. I didn't want to create too many small states. I just wanted to make sure that they are democracies. And guys, I thought you're democracies. You have no elections. The German Republic Republic has no elections. I shouldn't have given them land. The Netherlands neither. You are socialist. No elections. What have I created? It's a lot of democracies, but without elections. Great. I can invite them all to my economic alliance. Welcome. So Mongolia is gone. Thank you. And because I don't trust the Chinese to be super peaceful, I'm just gonna keep a garrison here to be safe, because they do the same. But yeah, union with Ukraine is done. Even coring the first few states already. Very nice. And let's do a union with Belarus next. Oh yeah, we basically cored most of Ukraine already. This is very good. It's like this one state here and some states back here. And the rest is all cored now. Yeah, you still see where the negative modifiers are is not a core. And yeah, as I promised, in our constitution, autonomy. There you go. We also have to demobilize the economy to partial, and we can give civilian rule to Crimea, which is already cored, so compliance doesn't really make sense, but I'll take it. From men to war to men of peace. Oh, big pension system. Let's go. Let's go full socialist. You know what happens to your nation if you don't have a good pension system. Everyone knows. You don't want to make the old people angry. Focus is also done. And I would say once again, democratic elected government, autonomy. Yes, sounds good. And let them rebuild too. And it feels so weird to not have a lot of decisions anymore. I can't even scroll. There were so many decisions most of the game. And now there's nothing. Canada won the war. Also very nice. I mean, not completely yet. But Africa got not liberated, but split up. But I would say with these focuses here finally done, let's go down here to escaping the cycle and getting torch for all the world. Very nice modifiers. And free elections will be organized in all our European client states. Yeah, I better hope so, Germany, okay? You can't just not make elections. Come on, man. It's rude. I gotta be honest, this is a really good thing to have. Otherwise, the focus trees would bug them out a little bit, I think. And yeah, this is a thing. Ignore this. We can also end the resistance in Ukraine, because we have integrated them. And lighthouse nuclear tests. I don't know what this exactly does, except giving me a rocket side, which I guess is nice, but let's see. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. I guess we nuked our own province. Great! A ray of hope. Do you mean the radiation or what? Anyways, we can do demobilization, a pension system, and a socialist republic. I'm gonna start with the socialist republic, because we were based like that. And yeah, maybe in the background I've built like 36 nuclear reactors, just in case we needed the bomb before winning the war. They kind of got lucky, I have to tell you that. I might have already researched missiles, okay? And I'm currently working on advanced missiles. So they're a bit lucky with that, I have to say. I would have nuked Berlin into the next Copper Age. No, not Stone Age, Copper Age. They remember having some advancements. I would say before we just quite demobilize, I think there's one more thing we can do. Extinguish the flames. Topple the Union of Britain. Yeah, let's do that. Just in case we might need that. And actually true, every nation had democratic elections. That is genuinely really cool. Seeing new leaders everywhere. I am so proud of my Iron Curtain. This is beautiful. Welcome Germany to democracy. Actually have a path for that. That is cool. I gotta say that. We finished the pension system. Let's do build a better Europe. Increase the state category by 1 level in any own state in the basically conquered territories. And I'll take that. It's not needed, but for the LARP, sure. As for Great Britain, I would say goodbye. Paris against Moscow. No, actually no. Okay. Paris is very much on my side here. Let's just land. I have my entire air force. Okay, there's a Eureka conference gone. I was prepared this over here. You know, Sweden, you can join this. I might compensate you, so do that. Thank you. As for landing in Great Britain, I thought my tanks would be enough. I thought correctly. I'm pretty sure I won't get anything over here, because Canada's been at war a bit longer than what I do here, but it's worth a try. We have a lot of war participation, but to be fair, I'm pretty sure it doesn't count in, yeah, the Entente. London has fallen. Yeah, this is nothing against normal Britain in base game. We also have all of Norway already. That's nice. Taking Bergen. I know someone from Bergen. You're mine now. But Norway's not even a peace treaty. Okay, yeah, Ireland has way more. Everyone has way more than me. What I will try is, I guess we take a Spain. It's just unrealistic to take Great Britain when Canada has so much points and their main mission is to come back. On the other hand, we don't want to be in conflict with the Entente, and if I take British land now, I would basically bully them. And I checked, they are democratic, so I guess none of my business. But I can steal the navy. Or maybe not. It's very expensive. I guess it's gone for good. But yeah, no more communism in Europe. Oh, I forgot about Norway. Norway wasn't in this peace treaty. But jokes aside, the Norway war is actually not that hard. Yeah, I won it. And I got everything. Beautiful. Fate of Spain, Republic. Fate of Norway, Republic. And let's kind of clean up these pockets over here, because this looks horrible. Return lands to Spain. Yes. Invite them to our economic alliance. And that's that. Britain is also home. They are an autocracy, but I'm pretty sure it's only because they have this post-war devastation, taking everything chaos. So I wish you good luck in getting this under control. I hope they return to a free parliament. parliament, though. As for myself, I'm very happy what I did here. I'm sad about the Middle Eastern alliance that I lost those to Cairo, but I couldn't get involved in that war. That was just too much at once. For the rest, I'm pretty happy. We restored a lot of democracies. The latest one being Norway right now. Don't look at the election thing. And Spain. And we made a lot of friends internationally. I'm pretty sure the US likes us. Oh, they actually do. There you go. It was very hard. I think the RNG really worked against me. Maybe I should have helped in the Italian war. But overall, I had a lot of fun. This was my main division. And yes, I modified it with a bit of Space Marines. So you got a secret Space Marine video here. This was my normal division. And those over here are my tanks. The game just gave me those, so I used them. Anyways, I enjoyed Kaiserreich a lot. There is more to come. I hope you enjoyed it. You can do the like and subscribe stuff now, right? You know, looking at you. To my supporters, which you can also always join. Thank you. See you next time. Love you all. Bye.